Today I'm going to talk about why you should learn to code, why use Python as your first language, and give you some resources to get you kicked off. Hey y'all, Matt Bauer here, co-founder of the HackerVillage Project, where we provide hands-on, collaborative, and open source Python training for the oil and gas and energy industry. Kathryn and I, we recognized that there was a need for training materials for data analytics that's applied and accessible for everybody in the oil industry. I think that there's a lot of, sometimes it's perceived barrier for entry, and folks don't see how it actually apply in their own workflows. And we wanted to go ahead and start getting that material and building a library that folks can access when they have time, whether that's hopping off the rig in the evening and they want to add a few tools to their tool belt, or that's coming home from the office and looking for new workflows, or if they're in transition between jobs and they want to make themselves more applicable for that next job, or maybe switch career paths. And HackerVillage is for those folks. It's accessible, real-world application, and we have a few rules. It's be nice, give yourself time to learn. Don't beat yourself up. Everybody always says that it's going to take 10,000 hours to add these skills. I personally believe that if you spend 20 hours, you can pick this up and start using it in your day-to-day, and it's going to make your life easier. No matter where you are in energy or oil and gas, HackerVillage is designed to help you get ahead and give you the tools to excel. So some folks are concerned about automation. I've heard it multiple times, well, somebody's going to automate my job. Automation, it automates tasks, not people. Abstract thought, code can't do that. It's good at doing one little thing. But with that, where do you want to spend your time? Do you want to spend your time going through and cleaning up a spreadsheet in order to be able to utilize it? Or do you want to spend your time going through that data and trying to gain value out of that? Automation can't fill the art of interpretation, but it can allow you to become way more efficient. You're asking yourself, why would I learn to code? You have the perception that it's difficult to learn, but I'm going to make a case that the payoff is so much better and it's worth it, and it has applications in all jobs. There's a strong demand for coders. It helps you improve your fundamental understanding of the things that you're doing. You're not just clicking on a button on some software. You actually are writing it up and you're using it, so you understand deeply what is actually going on. It helps strengthen your creativity, your problem solving, your persistence. I think it actually changes how you think about stuff, because you're not just, thinking, okay, these are the tools that I have with the software suites that I normally use, and this is my problem, and that's how I'm going to address it with those tools. It opens you up to where, okay, how do I want to address this? What do I want to do? Because you're actually writing all that stuff up, and you can automate a ton of stuff, and that gives you superpowers. So in HackerVillage, when we're pulling together these collaborative open source and hands-on training, we chose Python. And you ask, well, why that language among all the other languages that are out there? Python is general purpose. It is flexible. There is a large number of libraries out there for doing multiple things. And you really can stand on the shoulder of giants with it. It's also open source, so there's not a paywall. Another benefit of Python is it reads a lot like English. It's very tolerant of white space in the syntax, so that you can actually read through what's going on. And it's much easier for a human to understand that, which is also why it's so easy to pick up. The other thing about Python is there's a large user community. So if you're running into a problem, I almost guarantee somebody else has had something similar. So if you can break it down to the individual steps and what you're doing, you can Google that. And on Stack Overflow, guaranteed there's going to be somebody else that had a similar problem. And that community helps each other solve those. So you can find those answers with a quick Google search. There's also a large number of scientific, data science, and machine learning packages that you can import into Python and add more tools to your tool belt by just picking it up. Many of you know my story. I had to learn Python because it was the only way that I could actually get the project that I wanted to get done. Find an application for you can start using this on a daily. And at first, it may not be the prettiest code in the world, but you're going to get better. Just find where you can use it and start applying it. So there's a whole bunch of resources that I absolutely love. Starting out, and I actually used Dr. Chuck's Python for Everybody. It's a free online course. If you need documentation for work, you can get it through Coursera. There's a lot of projects that are going on right now, which is pretty exciting. I help teach a class with RMAG and Mines, Practical Python for Earth Scientists, with Zane Job and Thomas Martin. They're also putting together a master's certificate program at Mines, Earth Resource Data Science. There's a lot of other stuff. There's Denver Data Drivers, where they're showcasing tools that they're using. Kurt Rucker and Mindy Stone are doing that project. There's also Matt Hall and Evan Bianco and all the guys over at Agile Scientific. They have a great set of resources, a great podcast. They're also spearheaded Swung, or the Software Underground, which is a Slack channel with a bunch of folks that have a lot of passion for geocomputing. And finally, one of my favorite resources is Michael Perch. He's a professor down at University of Texas, Austin. He's the geostats guy. He puts all of his lectures up on YouTube, as well as a plethora of tools on his GitHub. And just so you know, I'm not getting any money on any of these. These are things that I've either used or really believe in what they're doing. Look down in our show notes where we'll put links for all of those resources for you. So be sure to check them out. Big shout out for all those folks that have either sponsored or helped mold the HackerVillage project into what it is. Sarah Dodowski with the Global Energy Management Program, Josh Churlick of Well Data Labs, Jim Thorson of Free Radical Ventures, Denver International Petroleum Society, the Rocky Mountain section of SEPM, RMAG, Members in Transition, and finally, Terry Olson. Take a moment and hit subscribe, check that bell, because you want to be able to stay up to date on all things oil, energy, education, and HackersVillage. And finally, because when I've helped other folks learn Python, one of the biggest pains that I always see is just getting the damn thing installed. So I want to walk you through step by step and how to get Python installed and how to open it up the first time. And that video is posted here, so check it out.